Is that you, Santa Claus? Gifts I'm preparing for some Christmas sharing. Hang in my stocking, I can hear a knocking. Is that you, Santa Claus in the Philippines?
Sure, it's dark out, ain't the slightest spark out.
Avoid that traffic and those barking dogs. Who's there? Who is it stopping for a visit? Is that you, Santa Claus?
Is that you, Santa Claus? Yes, hang in the stocking, I can hear a knocking. Is that you, Santa Claus? Now stop teasing, 'cause I know you're there. Like a girl on a red street, I can see your feet.
Is that you, Santa Claus? Gifts I'm preparing for some Christmas sharing. Hang in my stocking, I can hear a knocking. Is that you, Santa Claus in the Philippines? One peek and I'll try there. Oh, oh, there's an eye there. Is that you, Santa Claus?
Please, please, pity my knees. Say that's you, Santa Claus. Avoid Red Street and Heidi and George, of course. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Good morning. Good morning. Thought I would go early. You never know. You never know. Good morning. Good morning. Sound check. Sound check. It's Saturday. I was going to switch the day to Sunday. Me and George have been talking about different days. And in a full discussion yesterday, we're like, we might as well just leave the schedule the way it is and just add extra live streams if we need them. And I've been pretty much doing Saturdays for sure on my own here in the Philippines. So Magandang po, good morning, good morning. There's a couple different topics I could have done this morning, and there's a lot of things going on in the news, and I still thought I would cover. I seen a video the other day, and we probably in the last year have been sent 50 to 100 videos in regards to a vlogger that is out there. That they're saying he's creepy. He's always touching on Filipinos, going into slum areas, and it's the way that he vlogs is creepy. There's several of those creepy vloggers here. But in general, I'll show some of the footage later where he's in the area. And I guess there's an American living in this area. So he was there to see how he was living. And so there's a couple things to cover on people living in poor areas as expats, creepy vlogging, slum vlogging, and there's tons of it out there. So I just made that the topic. I don't want to get into stuff that's political or other things that are going on. I just want to stick to, to what we're doing here in the Philippines. And also me and George had a big discussion in the last few months for our regulars to say, we've been trying to figure other things to add into our vlogs because we've been doing live streams or just covering our lives. And we get people like, oh, well, what happened to the expat help? Well, pretty much there's so much misinformation. And then by the time you get to a government office or you get here, everybody's experience is different. So we really had a deep discussion yesterday that we're just going to pretty much show our lives. Basically, it's a reality TV. It's antics reality TV. No boundaries, Heidi and George. Explanation, George. It's just where it's going to be. We're unique to begin with. As a matter of fact, George came up with an idea on his own. Well, you guys came up with part of it to do more of a live all the time, kind of like cameras in the house. I'm like, well, shit, that means I'd have to clean 24/7. Then we could just let people see how you live because nobody's clean all the time. And I was like, well, I don't really have the problem with that, but he just wants to put it in certain area of the house. And I'm like, well, AKA, it's what we're doing in our live stream, George. And so we went through that full discussion. I was like, if it's just in a certain area of the house, it's pretty much our live stream. So there's not a whole lot going on. You know, you got cats and us and possibly us fighting. I guess you guys can check in to see if we're fighting on the hour. So we're trying to come up with some new stuff because this bullshit of walking around vlogging that a million people, there's hundreds of Filipinos doing it. There's hundreds of expats walking around with a camera like George used to show the area. Philly in the Philippines, Brian did a real good job of showing Angeles City and Walking Street and all these areas, and these others were the originators. Now there's just a crap load of them out there, and to me, it's so diluted and so delusional, among other things, that we're burned. We're basically burned out on the crap. That's why we continue the live streams. It's more of a communication with people and to consider there's so much stuff out there right now in the delusional internet. We'll just keep doing what we're doing and bring in when we go out and just try to do more of a reality on the spot wherever we're at situation. So that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah. You got your coffee. Yeah. One of our friends here in the Philippines sent us this is what we've been drinking. I think it's pronounced Macona, but basically it's from the Netherlands. And it's really good stuff. So it's a small jar of it, but instead of brewing the coffee right off the bat, we it's quick to actually do, but man, it's really good. It's really, really good coffee compared to I had George, we did a taste testing. We have something UCC, I guess, is Japanese, and then you have Nestle. And I was like, oh, well, the Nestle, I think, has an intense too. It's okay. When you do all three of them, that still kicks the shit out of it every time. So, really good coffee. Thank you. The person knows who sent it, anonymous, but oh man, it was so good. So, I think it's called Makona. Makona. It's got two C, Makakona, Makakukona. So, but yeah, so that's what I got. Different topics. Be sure to comment. And hey guys, are you serious right now? Two of the cats like to pick on each other, and she literally just lunged from the kitchen up on the couch and knocked Pigsy over. You okay, Pigsy? I know she likes to pick on you, baby. This other mic's confusing me. I'm using George's mic from a distance, so it's directly in front of me. The other one over here, I keep going like this. Hey, MB, what is going on? Hello, Philippine Antics Squad. Yeah, Thaddeus, kind of let us know what's going on. We're just covering different things. It's hard saying. I know so many different stories right now that it's kind of, I don't know. We tend to, when we get certain things, we want to gather more or just figure the time to do it, especially if other people are covering it. I wanted to cover, I discussed that story that Sunshine just interviewed that guy that came here on a couple thousand, less than 2,000. I think he's from Canada. And he just left a family over there, wasn't doing really well when he came over here. He came right over here and had a baby and everything. It's just another kind of craziness. But good morning, Sarah. Good morning. Hey, what's going on, Scott? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Tracy's Corner is in the house. And if you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hang in for this live stream. Most of the funds that we use go right back into the pets, as everybody knows, and Noah's Ark Animal Shelter and our coffee habit and donut habit, because you all know you like to watch this fat girl eat, and save George's funeral funds. That way we don't stuff them in. You know what? That's what I'm That's what I'm gonna do with this little jar is put little boy's ashes in there when he passes away. So I'm gonna save that jar. Thank you for the funeral urn, people. But we do appreciate you guys watching. That is for sure. Good morning, Slick Rick is in the house. What is going on? Man, you need to go away. They're telling me to turn on my virus protection. That's okay. When I turn it on, it really messes up the live streams, the direct stream. Yeah, like Big Brother. Well, the other thing I thought about, and he shut me down right away, is being it's mostly me here. I was thinking about putting a live camera somewhat on him and then playing it back, like just putting it out as a video. Pretty much, it's just a person that goes around with a camera all the time on their bikes and kind of doing that where no matter what happens, it's just always going more like a total reality TV or 90-day situation. And they just edit everything out. Well, we were thinking of pretty much just uploading no matter what. But like George said, who knows? You know, we don't want to catch somebody murdering somebody in the alley and then get hunted down. We thought about several different things, and because the game of YouTube has changed, it's changed a million times over. We're getting a quarter of the funds, and it was already just being used like the other live stream software went up to $50 when like starting a couple months back, and we're like, yeah, we're not paying $50 when you make $200 a month. And then there's different things like we're paying a tax man and everything. Every couple months he has to pay a tax man to do our taxes here. So it's there are expenses. There are 100% expenses in vlogging, and we do save stuff on SD cards. We replace equipment and different things for the streams itself. So, hey, what's going on, Cindy? But yeah, we're trying to figure something out. I've been pushing him to do certain things, and now he spends, more time with his friends and family. YouTube took the back seat for, we used to stream like almost every day and put videos out. I just can't see burning the candle at both ends. We're not building a house. We're not trying to build a car. Specifically, it seems like most of the vloggers that are, covering a lot of things, it's more about dating and marriage and these guys coming here. It's not a female expat world with the Filipino situation. A lot of these guys are coming here to date and marry and move over here because of that. And that's a big portion of what these guys are looking for. And we're not going to give dating advice either. If it falls into the category, then so be it. But yeah, I can't see busting a lot of stuff out like that. And then you'll see the ones that come in. I don't know the full story about Mike's Philippine retirement, but somewhere between his lady quit doing her channel or she hasn't been seen. He's not doing the house no more. He was going overtime into doing all these vlogs and live streams, and he slowed down. And it's like, it's not that serious. He went 2 years ago full force when we seen him come on the scene copying Old Dog, and boom, he was just running like a maniac, and now he's totally in a halt. And like me and George said, it's not that serious. But for us, it's the interaction with people. Like George said, he was like, well, if the money stopped tomorrow, would you still do it? And I was like, well, yeah, we would still be talking to our regulars and this and that. And it's, I was just saying Cindy's next here on the line. We have regulars that are coming in here for the most part. So Cindy's got her coffee. But in the meantime, there's a lot of fools out there vlogging. And I told George, I enjoy when some of these guys come up. Some aren't worth covering because that's what they want you to do, or they want to be seen and all that. And I really didn't want to cover this guy because I've never liked this guy. And I'll get to that in a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to mention his name or show him. I haven't decided. There's enough slum vlogs out there without showing him. But I don't know if they're like George said, there's certain things there's been tons of stuff that comes up, and if it doesn't really cover something expat to learn a lesson, George goes, yeah, why cover it? Pretty much it's just picking on the person. We were going to cover, and I'm going to cover it now and mention it. I wanted to cover Jen Thornton coming back on the scene because I listened to part of her video. And like you said, at this point, if we say something, then we're just picking on her. If people initially said we just were outright bullying her, and it's like, no, her husband screwed up. They screwed up by having a baby, and we went through all that scenery. And so there was something to learn. If we cover her now, then it's just trolling her and just being cruel. And I'm like, okay. So, but it's like, I was like, no, there's plenty of other content out there. So, but, so he said that, there's really nothing. So we still want to stick to something besides, I mean, if me and George have a fight on there, or you're seeing the reality of how life is here, that is part of Philippine antics for that reason. But man, that coffee is good, man. I ain't even kidding. Um, it's really good. I'm, donuts and coffee is getting to be my thing in AC. I told George yesterday we took a mid-afternoon nap, and it was like, I'm so tired. My lupus has got me tired all the time, and my anemia. And I'm like, I love donuts, George, because I love donuts. I love you. And we're just sitting there just falling asleep. We were tired. And it's like, that's what's become important for us. Whatever makes you guys happy, just do you. But I'm going to tell you right now that that's just my thing. We didn't come here to, to date or to restart families, or we didn't come here to travel. We're not on vacation. This is my boy's hometown. You wouldn't go back to Florida with your woman, or California, a Filipina, and then get there and go vacationing. It's not what we came here for. You guys aren't going to get that from us. Now, have we taken you along with us, like when we went to Subic or something? Yeah, we've showed you some places, but we're here just to live everyday retirement life and tell you what it's like and cost, or that's what we're here for, is to answer some of those questions. But it's just like, I'm happy for AC and donuts. And we were going through being grateful for animals that are healthy, and that with everything happening with his dad passing away and my health issues, I said, yeah, I'm just happy to take my nap. It's just like, doesn't take a whole lot, to make me happy. And George is, happy. Good morning, Bruce. Hey, what is going on? Speaking of that, are you still in the US, or have you made it back? Everybody saying hi to Bruce. Hey, Hector, what is going on? Good morning. Good morning. Hector is in the house. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Add that to the funeral funds, coffee funds, donut funds, cat funds. Yeah, I think so. I think if we just put a cam in one area, I mean, I'm not embarrassed of my place per se, but we have cats that drag stuff everywhere, and we have like all these shelves that have like food and our items near the bathroom, and it's like, yes, you would still have to pick up, and then I'm like, well, that's just part of reality. Now, I think it's going too far when you're doing full Big Brother, but we did talk about that one camera. George goes, what if we forget the camera and it's on, and we care. Well, like, if he's worried that if we put the cam on, we'll just forget it's there, which I guess that'd be part of it. But he's talking about, like, taking it to the bathroom. You'd have to remember to turn it off. And that's pretty much true. We've carried cameras around that much back in Florida that there were times we didn't turn it off. So it's just like, that's just the way it is. But I don't know. We're trying to figure a level. Maybe you guys can help us figure out what, we need to find out what our regulars are, and something different, just being real. I don't know. I there's just so much of copy stuff out there, and I'm sure it'll be duplicated after the fact. Oh, thank you, Buttermilk Biscuit. Yeah, it's of course one of my wigs. So I just seen videos of me in Florida. Big difference. The lupus is flared up, being on steroids. My hair was in good shape, shiny, everything. It was like, it was a big difference in the health. Me and George have both gained weight, and we just look at ourselves in Mexico. It's like, wow, look how skinny we are. It was like this before we got to the Philippines. Hey, what's going on, Cindy? I think so because I keep seeing the guys. Um, there was a. Have you guys seen that girl on TikTok that imitates Jim Carrey? I mean, she goes a little too political for me because I don't like going either side, but she just started talking about men in general that they need to wake up. The ones that are talking about gathering together and going out on the streets and fighting for justice, no matter what side. I won't say what side. But they're like, these dudes can barely get through the grocery store and they're going to go out there and, you know, incite things to be done based on certain actions in the US or Canada or Europe. Let's go out like in France. Let's go out and protest today. It's like them bitches can't even make it through a Walmart. They can't make it through, the streets, or they get a half mile down the street and they're worn out. And that's me too. I ain't even kidding. So at least I know I'm a fat girl sitting on a couch eating a donut. I know where I'm at. I'm gonna tell you, big girl here, barely can do shit, but at least I'm being real on what's going on that time. Well, next week we'll be going to Subic Bay, and then after that we'll be going to Cebu and doing a bunch of meet and greets, and then after that we're going to be on the beach. And this, no, for multiple reasons, you can't pay me like that. We gotta want to do it, but they do need to wake up to their ages. They get injured, they get sick. I've seen a bunch more on Facebook that are sick, and next thing you know, they got GoFundMe's and they're trying to gather money and they're asking for money. And hey, maybe that could be me too. But in reality, you got to face reality. A lot of these guys get here, aka Mike. He got here in his late 60s or something with little to nothing. He talked about what he didn't have. Now he's a full-fledged vlogger, and with, as I'm to understand, he's even starting to have health issues. So it's reality will hit real soon. Aw. We seen them the other day, and she is pregnant again. So let's see. There's King, Queenie, and she's about to have her fourth or fifth baby since we've moved in here. She's had almost one a year. We're going into our fourth Christmas here. So she had King, and then she had Queenie when we first moved in. She's had one other baby, and she's pregnant again. I was just like, yowzer. So they're doing really good. We go up there and we like walk down, and she has a food stand. We missed her the other day and got some fruits and vegetables, and yeah, growing. He used to come down here. He doesn't come down here to the house much. We have to go over there. You're right. Don't expect much in the Philippines because the Philippines is corrupt. Well, that is another thing, is that that's also part of the topic, is bringing down expectations and realities, because people have this place so high up there. If you're on vacation and you're in the beautiful places, that's one thing, but living here long term, getting used to the culture, the people, and the different things, the sound, the noise. Like last night, the motorcycles never stopped. All night long, at all hours in a subdivision, it never stopped last night. And some days it's quiet, and like I said, just a year and a half ago, there weren't chickens walking around in our subdivision. The people just turned them loose up the street. They've been breeding. They're in the yard across the street. If they've been in our yard, the bottom half of the fence has got metal on the front of it, like the chicken wire initially to keep, like when we had the first puppy. And there's now a little loop, and that was for the kittens to come out, like anybody that couldn't get up over it. We had like medium size that were out there that were walking the neighborhood. They come in and eat. So we probably feed 7, 8, or 9 of them that come twice a day, different ones, sometimes the same. And the chickens come through that hole. So so they don't come in too often, but they come in, but just the noise, guys. So the noise, you there's a lot. So that's part of the discussion too, is pretty much the expectations here. And You're not going to get a lot of fancy words from me. I pretty much just shoot off the hip, and really, you do have to adjust. You just have to adjust. Actually, my wording earlier, which George corrected me before he left, is I said lower your expectations, just get rid of them. And then George's like, damn, that was harsh. And I'm like, that's the way I feel sometimes. It's like pretty much. And here's the other thing: we also are bougie as Westerners, so it's kind of a halfway point. I'm going to admit that we're just bitches, even if we're broke. You can be broke and still be trying to be bougie and trying to be rich and all of that. So there's a real bad combination there. You get here and it's like, what the f is really going on? And it depends on the city you come in and everything else. It's the same if I return right back to the US right now, political stuff and just going from here to there. The people that return back to Canada and America, you go through a whole nother shock, the cost and you know, like my ability that I would start driving again and oversized roads with traffic lights and stuff and people pretty much following the traffic rules. But it's kind of, it would be the reverse if I went back. But coming here, especially to the Philippines versus other Asian countries, is the infrastructure is just rough. And I feel, in my opinion, the best way to sum it up is that a lot of Filipinos don't have the boundary situation. They're pretty much shoulder to shoulder. They don't mind being on top of each other. It's crowded sometimes. I It's like being in high school, a state fair, and summer camp wrapped in one, in my opinion. And so, yeah, it's just one big party sometimes. Karaokeing at all hours and like last year it was during Easter where they and Christmas where they do the singing at the basketball courts and religious things going on. People start karaokeing at the same time and it's like you don't hear them people up there reading, the religion and for the holidays or different things going on and they're doing karaoke right in the neighborhoods. It's just like, okay, so there's a lot. Wow, Heidi sends out more BS about Mike because she doesn't know the truth. He has already told why. She guesses why. Hey, me to pie, bite me. Okay. What do you mean more BS? Okay. You're lying. Go sit down somewhere. Trying to come in here and encroach on my live stream, trying to talk some shit. You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. Goodbye, pie. What you talking about? Doesn't know shit. I know he's a copycat. Why don't you defend that shit? I know that's all he did, and you think he's the truth. Go sit down somewhere. If you don't like what Heidi, yeah, blogging, go away. Goodbye. I don't believe you. What you talking about? The whole man's channel. I'm just gonna say it is shit. My channel shit. The next person shit. He ain't shit. He's just another white man that failed in America that came here. Bottom line, calling their shit out. So you all that come in here and say that bullshit and troll my channel, George's channel, whatever the F you want to say, is strictly based on you can't handle it. So whatever. I'm calling all those goddamn channels out. Most of shit that comes out of here is just shit. I'm just here to be reality. I ain't trying to sit there and say that we're right, wrong, or whatever. You're probably another YouTuber. You could be Mike. You could be one of the ones we've tracked down and found their location and knew they were bigger vloggers. Just fight me. Shit, you don't think I'm not on to that after years? You think I'm just gonna sit here and be like, boo hoo, he's on to me. Oh God, you hurt my feelings. You called me fat. Oh, please. We laugh about you bitches when we get off air. You think our whole life falls apart? No, I don't think so. Bring the donuts. Come on down, bitch. Okay, so Bruce said I'm leaving in a few days. Aw. Leaving in a few days to come on over. Thank you. It really is appreciated. Trouble on the, pretty much. You think his life, at least when me and George sit here and fight or I'm pissed at him, I'm gonna tell you like it is. He specifically asked me not to say certain things, so I don't. And sometimes I do say it anyways. I'm not gonna hide this shit. Not gonna be all proper about it and hide and protect your little feelings. Screw that. Don't like the man. I'm just gonna say that right now. Don't like the man. He's a copycat. He's a copycat. He did exactly everything Paul did. He sucked off of Paul's ass. He hung on Paul. Take that to the goddamn shop, bitch. A vlogging life. A lot of them did. A lot of them did. Tell us who we're sucking off of. Just because we say, hey, screw it. What it is, a lot of bitches got mad about Mark Thornton. What? That was the goddamn truth. Everything that we put out. So it's not like we're just making shit up. Truths. Truth hurts. The truth never lies. What the hell? We didn't sit there and make shit up. We cover stories and we'll say allegedly because there's shit out there, but we ain't sitting there making shit up, copycatting, and tell us who we copied. Tell us who we copied when our asses was here 5 years ago when 90% of these bitches weren't even here. And you ain't never going to be us. Ain't no channel going to be us. People are like, oh, there's other Western women. There's other Filipinos and Western women. Yeah, these guys aren't even close to retirement age. They're just babies. And a lot of them don't even live here long term, or they're just not vlogging. We've been doing live streams. We've been bitching. I've been bitching for 5 years. Good morning, Curtis. Hey, what is going on? Zambonga in the house. Hey, on the Curtis Ranch. There it is. I'm just looking for something to talk about today, so we get to the subject. Let's talk subjects, because really, you guys can understand most of them vloggers, like George said, just throw a subject out there. We're trying to get people to come in and talk. That's what this is about, is talking. I'm just, it's just there. On a live stream, someone asked him if he had children. He got pissed, saying he does not talk about it, and they were rude and need to go to another channel. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't like us. There's other people that lost their YouTube channel. It was a bitching Filipina, and she came back in, and we caught it because the live stream came on, and then they sat there and bitched about us. And no, he's full of crap, pretty much. People don't even have gas to go anywhere, much less to protest, right? Yeah. No, that's just a fat kitten. Pregnant. Oh, her. Yeah, kittens. The Christmas kittens. Yeah, no, yeah, we're talking about King and Queenie. It's some kids that we consider our god kids. And this past summer, was it even last summer? She just had a third kid, and now she's pregnant. She's due any day. And I told George, I said, I thought maybe she was just heavy, because kind of like me, I pretty much only lose the baby weight and then all my excess weight's on. So I didn't technically even know if she was pregnant. It's not like I'm over there all the time. And I looked, I said, George, she's pregnant again. And he says, no way. And I was like, and I don't know, kind of crazy. Wow, I will donate for Christmas. Yeah, she's got a whole house full. Yeah, usually around Christmas, we take our funds for about 2 months, a couple $100, and then people add on to it. And we say, hey, we're doing this, and that. And then we just do different like boxes and stuff. Hey, what's going on, Brian? One of the originals out there. One channel that I highly believe in, still believe in, and one of the originator. All of them is just a copy from here. Oh, I'm the #1 vlogger in Angel City. And I just seen some other idiot say the exact same thing. He's like, I'm the #1 Angelist. And I'm like, oh, please sit down somewhere, Krusty. The dude is crusty, having a kid and doing a walk around and saying the same bullshit, same lines. Oh, well, I'm just trying to keep it real, and I'm just going to show you my life because it's for me. It's not for other people. And I just do it because I want to do it. I said, sit your ass down somewhere, bitch, before you break something. It's like, when George gets involved, when we're going through YouTube and they come up in our feed, he's like, another one. And then he's like, oh, well, we know this guy's been existing over there. And he's like, If George cusses like he has lately, George is tired of it. George is now in menopause with some attitude, and he's. I'll tell you, some days I'm like, calm down, baby, calm down. Just happy with what's really going on. I'm happy with my naps, my donuts, my AC, and George's new attitude in the Philippines. Ah, good morning, and a big shout out to Lut's Diary, Lut's Diary. It's amazing how that young coochie will make old men revert to middle school mentality. And you know what? We've said a million times and going to keep saying it that we all bring our mentality over here. I brought my attitude, my anxiety, but I was only coming here to live because my husband did, and it was cheaper over here. Don't ask any more of me. Don't expect me to bend to these other bullshit vloggers' mentality and ideology of how you think I'm gonna live here. Fuck that shit. Boo. You ain't gonna get me to sit there, well, this and that and this. I'm gonna live, dudes, the same as I am anywhere, like I did in Mexico. There are probably more old fools per square mile in the Philippines than any other country. I thought there was a lot more. It seems like that, but it's kind of out there. I'm lucky the karaoke neighbors are pretty good and find myself enjoying. I do every now and then, but when we first moved in here, thank you, George, there's literally MacArthur a couple streets over, and the bar, the back end, is halfway through the neighborhood. I don't know how that happened. And you could hear them all the time doing the karaoke and the live bands. I think the place closed because it's silent most of the time, or I just don't hear it anymore. George believes that I'm just not hearing it anymore. So it's you will adjust or it'll just drive you nuts. I think I'm just getting used to it. I do a sound machine at night, or Ted was really sweet. One of our moderators had sent me a noise canceling headset in our previous Billy Buy-in box, and they help. I used them the other day when George was asleep because usually I don't. I usually just let things play in the house while he's asleep because George sleeps through everything. So, good morning, Raymond. Yeah, that's not every neighborhood. At 10 p.m., the barangay rings a bell and it has to be quiet. No, here in ours, they don't. Uh, yeah, I'm starting to wonder in this neighborhood. I have a theory of what's going on in this neighborhood, but it's at this point, as long as they ain't in here, as long as they don't come mess with me, I'm okay. Chosen one, that I'd be curious on. Chosen one said he's going to get that YouTube channel going. My channel is sheet. Ah, no. You're one of the originators. You showed things. You showed your sorry story in your life. That was real. That was as real. When George did a lot of working for his company before we came here, and it was me alone. Last few months, I started helping him in the office part time. Went to a few jobs with him to check it out. And then I just stayed home because I wasn't working. I had been on disability for a while, and I watched you, Sunshine, and Geo were the main channels, and Old Dog. Now, I will say back then, Old Dog has changed. Old Dog used to show mostly Baby May dancing in bikinis and her friends, and this person's single. And I'm aware. You don't think I'm unaware of that shit, some of the stuff that's happened on other channels. I'm aware, but it was about as real as it could get. But Brian was one of the people that we thought was really really good, and he showed the heart of Angel. So it actually showed where I knew George would bring us back to where he was, born and raised. So okay, back to the wife. That is cool. So he's on his way back. Well, we had him from the beginning. It even like when we were in Florida in the United States, and we had the channel for the first 6, 7 months, and in Mexico we didn't have no trolls. We clearly the signal in our small mountain area that we was in, people knew we were there. So if you put the name of your town, it was signaling to the people in town. They kind of knew us, but we didn't have trolls until we were here for a few months. And we did not go into, hey, so and so's an idiot for doing this, or don't be like that. In the beginning, it was expat help. And then we started getting the things, the stupid little things like, oh, she's fat, look at their size difference. And we tracked some of those. We kind of have an idea where these people were coming from and had an idea. Some actually said who they were, but we had trolls right away. And for a long time, probably up to a year and a half, 2 years ago, got some of the best advice and been following it ever since. And now it's a laughable offense. Um, but yeah, they came as soon as we got into the Philippines. We weren't probably about 2 months in and getting emails and people leaving messages. That's why there's a lot of blocked words. They get caught, get deleted. George goes through the emails and messages and just deletes them. I've caught a few of them, but yeah, you get your troll someday. Chosen one. You think sick grandpa is bad? Wait till I drop. Sick grandpa is not bad. I just think he's out there. He's not the darkest troll in the Philippines. He likes to talk. That's about it. So whatever that is, meat a pie. Making a statement over and land on your front lawn. Okay, welcome. Come on over. Everybody's invited. I'm assuming that is what it is. Still, go sit somewhere. You think that shit scared us, boy? Nothing. Do it again. Come on. I mean, give me a break. And here's another thing. I must make one statement. They're just words. And if you're willing to fly drones over our house, come to our front door, leave little pieces of paper and boxes outside, or approach us weirdly in the mall, it's to be expected. But based on words, nobody should be attacked. Okay. There's still a level, even here, of freedom of speech, or you can say things you think by calling me a name that I'm broke down, or that I'm going to set up weapons and come to your house and do something over words. No, I'm about being about it. And if you put your hands on my family physically, or you grab onto me, that's a different level. But because somebody had the freedom of speech, maybe said too much or whatever, they don't deserve to be unalived. Period. It doesn't matter. You can call it woke based on recent events. The same with the senseless attacks on the schools in the U.S. and hundreds of people with the gun violence and all that. But based on your words, okay, sounds like you're already coming to a level of I'm coming situation. Am I missing this? Over and land on your front lawn. Okay. So you want to jump straight to that based on saying crap about Mike, which really wasn't crap. Believe me, that was the innocent side of it. You want to pull, oh, come over again, what, and fly your drone again? Drive by my house at creepy at 2 a.m. in the morning? That's a whole different level, dude. Bring it. For anybody listening, bring it. I lived a good life yesterday. Fuck with mine and come near and see what happens. That's all I got to say. I said it once. I'm gonna repeat it again. That doesn't make no sense to drive by my house at 2, 3 in the morning, or to sit outside on MacArthur Highway and show you found my neighborhood. Bitch, we put that shit in our videos. People have been in this neighborhood vlogging as vloggers. So, but if you think that coming to my house is going to change me, no. Put your hands on me, and then you got another thing coming. Doesn't matter. That's where it is. But people can say whatever they want. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Now go sit down somewhere, Mr. Talker. Get your own channel. Oh, maybe you already have your channel. Hmm. Regular guy, he hooked up with Mark Thornton's wife and Gio's ex-wife. Regular guys getting around, getting around. Well, that's kind of like this other vlogger. He's been compared, Tony, to he's been compared to regular guy because he's got a wife and a kid. He's a Russian guy. I don't know if you guys want to guess who he is before I show you maybe some of his footage. And he came on the scene. I think he's been less than 2 years with little to no views. And then he started doing the regular guy thing. He goes around, he puts cameras on younger people, and he still does it. He's still totally against whatever the rules are here in the Philippines. And but I noticed here lately a video that came into the feed. He touches everybody every time. He's got to put his hands, and I didn't see regular guy doing that. But this guy will touch children, women, and he stops and he has to always rub and touch, and it creeps me out. But it's the way he does the vlogs because everything is hypersexual in the titles and stuff. Oh, she's 18 and ready for it, or she's ready to take it in for you. So he uses that as a clickbait. And then when you go in, he goes into slum areas or other areas and he tries to play it off as a traveling thing. And really, it's just soft porn, in my opinion, a lot of it. So, but they tried to put that on regular guy, and I still didn't see it. I just didn't. But this Russian guy appears to be the real deal. And I would probably say even closer to 100 in the last 2 years. And I'm like, I just don't like the guy. I'm not going to cover him. And then I seen him recently discuss there's some American living in a slum area. And I watched part of it and I was like, wow, he really is creepy. He really does touch on these people. And I think he's married and he's got a baby. It could just be his girlfriend. And but yet he's always interviewing these young girls, and just odd for me. And honestly, I'll just say his wife is or girlfriend. She must need the money, or I don't know. It was kind of weird. He's my spirit animal. Is that what he is? You talking about sick grandpa? Mikey canceled the house bill, then trouble. Miss Janet, a bit you. Just tired of it, you know. It doesn't matter if we're soft about a channel, Brian, or did full drama and carried things, or did expat help. We decided a long time ago, I'm just going to flip a camera on when I'm ready. We're not afraid of trolls threatening Social Security, threatening that my immigration is on the line. Is like, bitch, I'll be gone when I'm going to be gone, period. And just everything's on. We're not running a political channel. We're not like choosing three people and covering them all the time and just being cold. If cold comes out in between, F it. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Age gap, hashtag age gap problems. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm just a woman here in the Philippines that's American. She's a little bit more political and she's on the other fence, but yeah, they call me everything. So the troll channels and the dark channels do, but that was like last time we seen that shit is when Andy Omar was around, and we don't watch channels since. Got the best advice. There's no reason. Just because a troll sends an email and says, hey, so and so, we know they're trolls that are sending. We're not talking about our regulars sending it. Oddball people sending emails and messages. Again, we know who these people are. And saying, hey, so and so saying stuff about you. Yeah, a couple years ago, I'd have fell for that because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Not anymore. We do not watch these channels. But I mean, so what's the offense of calling me Rosie O'Donnell for sure? But I get it. Why do the biggest losers from the US run to the Philippines? I guarantee you most of them would be homeless if they lived in the US. I wouldn't say that. They just had issues. Everybody has issues. Every vlogger, every expat that arrives here, nobody's innocent of that. I told George the other day, there isn't anybody innocent. I could just about imagine, except for maybe somebody under the age of 10. And George said that was being generous because in this day and age, even a 10-year-old has issues. They're on there watching porn. They're on there, messaging old dirty men, and the kids above the age of 10 are all over the internet doing screwed up shit, or stealing out of their mother's purse, or drinking alcohol. There was an 11-year-old girl that snuck out of her mom's house, and she's already pregnant. That was just in the news. So what I'm saying is there is no innocence. I'll go under the age of 12. Just who you actually think is innocent as celebrities all have issues. I can't believe some of the ones that have come up recently with actual charges. I'm like, them too? I just can't believe it. Everybody you thought was a childhood celebrity that you watch, you're finding they have issues. The same with the people coming here. These expats have issues. They say the Philippines is a landing pad for the degenerates. I think well, they say that in Thailand too, or certain cities in Vietnam, attract certain people. But I think they're running from something. Yes, possibly. I just turned my hearing aids off, so noise is no problem. Yeah, that would be nice. Right? Maybe that's what I'll do. I like Rosie O'Donnell, so you guys can say whatever. I like Roseanne. I like was it Leslie Jones from SNL? I like a lot of the loud women. I mean, I think she did the right thing by standing up to the president. I think she's doing the right thing by going and living in Ireland and going somewhere else. The US is a shithole right now, and it is what it is. I love my country, but on the other hand, they got to straighten that shit out before it just, it's circling the drain right now. Our country is a laughing stock right now, and so it's become really crazy there. And nothing wrong with Rosie O'Donnell. It's how you guys actually see it. And I guarantee part of these guys at one point was married to a woman that reminded them of Rosie O'Donnell, or had some sort of looks or some sort of whatever. The same guys are like, oh, I would never be with blah, blah, blah. Bet a lot of them did. I bet they dated him. I bet you they. George has pointed out to me a lot of times the same people complaining about that is I'm not saying it's a complaint from you, Lacus, but I'm saying the ones who are like, oh, well, she's just a Rosie O'Donnell. They probably had a wife busting their chops for good reasons. It's like, oh, she's just a Rosie O'Donnell. Hey, Black Grandpa, what is going on? Heidi, Heidi, ho antics. Ooh. In show business, if you don't have trolls and haters, you haven't made it big yet. That's the first thing George said. So that's another thing about 2 years ago when we got the best advice. We were like, yeah, you don't make it without people hating on you. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, you only got 1,000 views on something. Yeah, but we got trolls and haters. So it's like, and a lot of people don't even make $1 off of it. Hey, $1 is $1. Gonna make me holla. So it's just like, okay, so gonna get my buck too. But yeah. Yeah, bring the donuts, bitch, the next time you drive by the house and this and that. But the moment you put your hands on me or mine or my cats, that's it. That's it. You could talk. People don't deserve to be whatever. You could talk on your side, bring it out in a beef on a podcast, run your mouth about being Rosie O'Donnell or fat or a pig or a hog, and George and Heidi's size difference, and she was a criminal, and make up a bunch of more shit, and AI a bunch of shit, and make up stuff, and whatever actually is going on, or not having the full story. And then that's fine. Have your beef, words, and everything. That's not going to destroy me. It's not going to destroy me. You're becoming a little angry man, and they are men that are becoming angry, and let me pick up the phone and call this person. Let me go down and do this, and do it. Do it I'll deal with it. We'll deal with it when that day comes. But if you think you're going to show up, then show out, bitch. Show up and show out and try it. What's that? FO, whatever. Yeah, fuck around, find out. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I will sit in the corner of that Filipino prison and smile, bitch. I'm going to tell you that right now. I promise you. Be like, and run that place and run that goddamn place. There's your thumbnail, bitch. I'm gonna take this wig. I'm gonna take this wig with me to, to Immigration Central, and I bet they let me bring it too. Do you mind if I bring my little wigs with me? And my fan and my donuts? How you think Gio feels after Scotty Boy moved in on Maya? Probably not. He probably moved on to some new stuff. That's probably what's going on there. It was probably better to get in. Thaddeus, right? Number one troll, love the George and Heidi show. It's a George and Heidi show. That's originally what we had before the AI music and all that came out. We could do theme music. Well, me and George has been playing around with AI for a few years now, and initially we started doing the theme songs for our show, and we were making songs up, and then originally singing some of them, and now everybody's got a theme song. Which nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. Regular guy getting around Dumageddon, he had Mark Thornton and Geo's women. They do say they share them in Dumageddon or Cebu and some of these areas. They break up and they're just waiting to swoop in. A lot of these guys are picking their women up based on the Dumageddon group. And they just come in and they hang out. They go to these parties. They have parties. I somehow came upon where the Heidi comments go, it's awful. I've never looked again. Oh, Scotty Boy is moving on. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We don't have to block the trolls. A lot of the words get held. And initially it was like, okay, well, they're not going to. George and my thoughts were a lot of them got mad in the beginning because we wouldn't let them on to the live streams to do where we used to bring everybody on. And then when they got blocked because they just wanted to come in and disturb the entire live or come in and we was like, yeah, we're not going to have it. So then it pissed off a whole section of them. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. The account comes up and they're saying stupid shit about we block them. So, I mean, who's going to leave them on? But a lot of the things we leave on there too, we're not going to hide every single comment. So, or we've had some directly say they're coming after us. And it's like, yeah, I'm not leaving you in there when you're giving out address information or just whatever. And it's just ridiculous, some of the stuff they say. But besides that, they can have their day. They can just sit there and watch because that's what they do. And even if they blocked, oh, I got to make a video. I got to make a video. Go make a video. I have peeps a long time in that area. We got your back. We got people too, but I kind of appreciate that birthday knife that George got me. He got me that hatchet and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, just not for cat show, pal, like George would say. So I'm sorry, they got the right one. I lived a good life. I lived a good life. I'm telling you, just give me a reason. Isn't there a song, Give Me a Reason? There is a thing, but yeah, give me a reason, man. I don't know. I ain't gonna sit there and get mad because like, oh, Heidi's a fat bitch in the mall. I'm not gonna run up and hit you based on words, but become physical or come whatever. See what happens. You get all mad over words, over defending Mike. Why are you defending Mike unless you are Mike? Why are you defending Mike? Why? Because you don't like me? Because I'm Rosie O'Donnell? Or I say truth? Tell me what I've said in a year that isn't the truth or I haven't confessed or done. Go ahead. Go ahead. You mad over Mike for what? Or whoever else. You the same one in that group of all that political shit. Left wing, right wing, wing nut wing, over religion. People and over LGBTQ and political stuff. You're a communist. You're a Republican. You're a Democrat. You're an independent. You're an asshole. So you're gonna get all mad about all that shit. Keep it together. They're trying to divide you on all of that shit. That's what's going on, and you're taking the eye off the prize, off the ball, off of what's going on. They want all this chaos for you. Over that, you're going to throw your whole lives away and just beat each other up in the streets over that person's gay or that person is whatever, over religion, everything else. Same with all these vloggers and the trolls and all that shit. You're going to get mad. Just have your beef and sit down, do your little live stream and start you a channel and shut the hell up, bitches. Perverted to exploit the young Filipinas and should be shut down. Yeah. Let me grab some of this bitch's content because that way he can bitch about it. I wouldn't doubt if the past 100 emails was him creating other emails just to be covered, but it would not surprise me in any manner that it's him that's been doing it for a few years. Because I'm pretty sure we blocked him off of here. I think he came in once when his channel was at like 1,000. And the only reason he got numbers is his young Filipina and his life that he was living. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going to have you come in like promoting your channel and saying shit on the channel. But yeah, so let's see if we could get it. So there's the American living out in the slums, and there's our little Russian guy. I think that's the other guy's girlfriend. The guy living out somewhat in the slums, but I thought I had.
Sure. All people put the garbage here. Yeah. For the Western people, it's shocking. But for us, and when we live in Philippines, it's just totally normal.
And what's with the girl holding her hands over her face? Hold on.
I'm living in Tawin. I had some other for. You sure? I'm living in Tawin. I had some other for. You sure? All people put the
Yeah, they show a bunch of trash out there. He's living in a very poor area.
In Philippines, it's just totally normal, you know. And guys, imagine all of this for just 300 pesos. Cheese! What's up, everybody? Americano, guys, look at this.
That is a slum area, guys.
Damn, I'm at the beach. Let's check it out, this place. Ano po, boss? Kumusta ka? Okay, ra. Boss, how much do you pay rent here? How pila rent? 10K. Punta, beautiful.
Yeah, what's... Okay, so...
What is smelling today?
Hold on, let me show you that again. The hand around the throat. Does anybody else find that inappropriate, especially on the YouTube channel? Every time I see him, he's manhandling his woman. Like literally, I watched a few of his videos finally today. It just seems that he's either touching women, like to me, he's always rubbing on them and touching them. And what was that around his wife/girlfriend's neck?
How pila rent? 10K.
Watch.
What is smelling today?
He's sniffing on her.
Smell good. Smell very good.
And what's with the no goddamn shirt? Y'all don't want to see me without my shirt. So that'll give you an idea of the slum shit I was talking about. And that's about all the attention he's going to get, but besides talking about his ass. But he's always without his shirt. He's always manhandling her. Because you know he wouldn't do that to a Russian woman. And he sure the hell wouldn't be doing it to me. I got my limits too, bitch. And he's showing this slum area in there. He walks around. There have been several that have reported him to us for just being rude. Again, I'm not going to sit there and watch all of his videos, but the ones that I've seen the last year or so have, in my opinion, been somewhat inappropriate of how when he walks through the crowds and he's talking to somebody, he stops and he touches them. But he tends to do the slum vlogging. She invited me home after and then he always shows a different young Filipina. So he tends to interview the Filipinas. An 18-year-old single mom doesn't mind. There's his maintenance day. She's 20 and beautiful. He's searching for a maid, so he goes through and he looks for certain women. She told me she loved me. So everything is pretty much, it is what it is on his channel. But there are plenty of these channels that exist. There's that other Russian that asks all the sexual questions. I know you guys have seen that other guy. Now this guy doesn't quite do that, but there's some of his comments are off. And like I said, he's kind of touching on him. But what caught my attention is he was showing there's an American living in a slum area. So in the slum area, he pays little to no rent. And is he living there because of his Filipina, the other person, not the pro guy? Or is it because he's just super broke and living on little to no money? And so, yeah, so that's where I'm at on that stuff. So, Tony, I'm looking at the comments during the live. I'm reading them directly from the platform that I'm streaming from. Further down, Tony says, "Oh boy, I can't wait to move to the slums." Right? She's Buntis. Well, the world is becoming a slum, yes. But usually expats, you would want to have a residual income, money coming in, savings, or something else. So either this guy chose to live there based on that's where his woman and family is, or it's all he could afford, or he doesn't. The guy doesn't look old enough for retirement. He could be on a low disability check that he's not supposed to leave his country. Well, he says he's from America. And or he could be on a military check but somebody said there's a set amount for military, so he should be getting enough for sure to not live there. A lot of the military people we know live in a really nice place on disability, so I don't understand why. Now some people claim that expats will live in these areas for the drugs, the prostitution. They like living in shady areas. They're hiding. There's something that they're running from. So I don't know which it is. That is for sure. Since self-talk is so powerful, however, it's important to choose your words carefully. If you use destructive language, you'll muddy your wisdom and create perceptions that can ruin your life. Yeah, I mean, it would be like possibly with your own husband or family members, you can muddy it, but nobody deserves to be unalive. Nobody, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about one specific person. We're talking throughout history. Big political figures did not deserve to be taken out based on, they knew too much, said too much, or whatever. But I mean, it makes sense. Got what you're saying there, Jose. He goes into the same slum so much that they call out blogger. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I have no money. Let me move to the Philippines at a young age for YouTube. Great ideals. Yeah. Yes, it is, Heidi. It's gone crazy. There's no leadership in America. I don't or have any interest in filming on YouTube. I'm here for boots on the ground, the Philippines, and updates. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. You can get updates from AI. You can get updates if you just go and put in the local stations here. You can definitely go on Facebook and go. It's a dying breed now, because honestly that's where our lower views come from, and nobody asks any question and different things when it comes to when it comes to expat help and all that. But boots on the ground and walking around and knowing how life is, there is a lot of it out there. That is for sure. So, but some of it is just a repeat. And that's why we slowed down too. We were just walking the same streets, or George was, or there's only so much you can actually do. So, um, a lot of people say they don't have the interest in vlogging, and in the end, it is the major way for these podcast people and for the vloggers to communicate with other people and family and out of boredom. And it's their way of talking with the world. I'm probably not putting it in, better layman terms. It's just, it's, you know, I'm surprised they're not putting webcams on babies when they come out now just to show their entire life, like Truman story. Really, I'm surprised. Mark said, "Who cares about Rosie? If she moved out of the U.S., she's nobody, anyways." Well, everybody has an opinion on that. I think she's a great actress. I mean, everybody likes somebody for some reason. It doesn't mean I agree on everything she says, but she has done some good movies. And so, but I guess some of the things she's saying is canceling her out based on whatever, but I like her. And the guys just wait for their turn in Duma, pretty much. When people get mad at me, I revert to my grouchy old man code. If you haven't if I haven't offended you, don't give up. There is still time, pretty much. Yeah. If it happens, it happens if you get offended. So, funny how people say the US is so bad, yet people from around the world are dying and trying to enter there illegally. Yeah, you think they are now? They would just be crazy to try to enter the US right now. And if they do, yeah, that means they're super desperate, because a lot of people that run their mouth haven't even left the US to go see how bad it is somewhere else. I've been to several countries to know that it's bad enough to go to the US, but I know those same people are getting there and it's not what they actually thought it was. And now, with all the laws that have just set in the US, they're going to start stopping every foreigner for whatever. It's just going to be insane. So, if I was a foreigner, I would think twice about breaking into America. Basically, that's what it is. You're breaking in. You're literally coming in illegally. I mean, what job are you going to hide from or do? Or when are you going to go to the store? Or when are you going to go to church? Or when are you going to go do these other things? What, are you just going to hide in the house? So it's kind of all upside down right now. So, and that is true though. It is funny, and then that people do want to get there. So it's amazing how many views Sim get every day. He definitely spends like he's always successful. Yeah. Sim cards, yeah, are magic weapons. And if expats move overseas, no matter to which country, and don't care for the US and have nothing but bad things to say, they should put their money where their mouth is and renounce their citizenship. So, what do you mean? Do you want to explain that again? If expats move overseas to whatever country and don't care for America and have nothing but bad things to say, they should put their money where their mouth is. Is that a reference to me, or who would you be referencing that to? First off, I don't have any reason to renounce that I'm American. I'll always be American. So let me address this on my behalf. And I myself will address this. If George was here, he'd be like, because he, that's still somewhat directed at me because of some of the things I say. So I'll address it as a person that you're putting into a category. Okay. First off, I don't only say bad things. Now, there are good things and bad things going on in the US. I would not return there for multiple reasons, and definitely wouldn't return with a foreign husband. That is 100% right now. And we don't have to renounce our citizenship based on it. I will always be American, period. The country has just went to hell in a handbag, and I have every right to say that. It's no longer the country that it used to be, no longer stands for the freedom and everything that it used to actually in detail, and the corruption's getting heavier and heavier. Bottom line, in all sections. It doesn't matter wherever, everything down to city. So not just upper government. So it just where it is. But don't have to renounce a citizenship. So should everybody that leaves Germany that's in America that talks shit about Germany renounce and just take up US citizenship, period? Not everybody takes citizenship when they get to America. They just live there forever on green cards. So they don't renounce their German citizenship. Yes, that is true. The Philippines version of the bold and the bankrupt, right? Or the shirtless. He's in the slums because he got no money, and he had money, he wouldn't be slumming it. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Laura? More than $1 will make you holler. Ah, his content is a copy of a million things, and I think it's because the way he shows. I can tell you, if I put the whole video up, I could tell you that this and that is exactly why he's getting views, besides paying to have his shit seen. There's no way that his video got 400,000 views based on what. So there's a lot going on that guy's channel. I don't believe his numbers either. Yeah, he's got like 70,000 people, and I mean, if they're watching it because they're watching his woman. They're watching it. I mean, I can't understand. I'm just going to jump straight to it. Most of the time, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. So it's hard for me to get past the accent. There's so many things going on in that. They're watching specifically to see the girls because it's creepy, and because the way he creeps on his own wife, and the way it can't be. I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me why they watch them? I consider the recent political events as further evidence that America is a sinking ship, and so is the rest of the world. You can gaslight either way and say, well, you're just a dumb Republican, you're just a dumb Democrat, and this person is this and this person is that. And then it's not what it is. Everybody's gaslighting, it's just a mess. It really is. It's a sinking ship. And I think when other parts of the world start to speak, to me, it's a third party situation. It's another outside vision of what's going on. And I know here in the Philippines, they're laughing at us. So we know there are Filipinos. Georgia sat down with people that just absolutely is like, this is getting ridiculous. And Filipinos are talking about it too. And I'm just sitting back observing everything. And they tried to peg one side, the other side for what happened to Charlie, and then somebody totally different popped up that did it. And it's like, well, there you guys go. All of it was just a bunch of, vloggers talking against each other, family turning on family about this, and Democratic Republicans yelling about stuff. And then in the end, it was just some young kid. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. And then there was the other part of it where were they at the EU or the UN or one of those places? They wanted them to stand up and have a moment of silence, and they refused to do it. It's like, it's a vlogger. You want us to stand up in the middle of our session in the EU for an American, and you want us to stand up. They started making noise during the moment of silence. To me, that screamed a lot of stuff. It's a lot going on. It is a sinking ship, and they have to pull it together. They want you to take your eyes off the ball. I'm not tied on either side. I'm not tied as an independent. I'm a loudmouth, but I know they want you to stop focusing on certain things. There are 10 different things that's going on with America's hand on it, and that is enough to distract, along with other things. But it's so. What is a dying breed? I have no idea. That was a sinking ship with the best economy and the most powerful military. Um, right now, yeah, at least you can get a job to pay for your $32 hamburger. So, that it took you to go buy the meat at the store so that you made, but I get it. There's a lot of other things, but yeah, probably overall, yes. Probably not even that's not even a no. It's probably true. I got all my info from Mike's Philippine Retirement. That's where I got mine. Really? That's where, yeah, I got my, you know what? I loved her realty channel and everything else. So, yeah, that's how we found our house. A divided house shall not stand for long. Yeah. Dumb people offend me. I hear you. Yeah, wasn't that odd? He's from Dumaguete, and yes, at one point he came all the way over to Walking Street to hang out. I guess that'd be like me showing up on the Dumaguete border and at that coffee shop and everything else. But he did come over late in the game, and hey, Mary, puppy's sleeping. 1858 Lincoln, ice, ice, baby. Bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Let me go in here. Yeah, let me give you another example. Drew Binsky. A lot of these guys don't live here. This is kind of like where that homeless guy, that Tatai guy that shows everybody the slums in Makati, he went totally underground where people were showing him that they pay like 50 a month and how they get their electricity, and they were going through showing they got sorry stores down there, and believe it or not, you do get Western expats that go down there to live, but you get a lot of the slum vlogging, a lot of it here. It's really kind of crazy. I've seen a guy that came in and he spent the night in a poor family's house in Tondo, and it was kind of crazy because he was afraid. He was pretty gangster like until he stayed the night out there, and then that could have all just been for, oh, and of course we know Marcos roams. We know that he does a lot of the slum vlogging, and there he is again. I don't recommend it for now. There are a lot of Filipinos that do it. I'm not going to leave it alone. That Let's see if we can get a better angle. And they go in there. By the way, most of them are cops that are doing it. We've talked to people that know them because some of them don't even move. They don't budge. They're Filipinos. They're clearly Filipino channels. But turns out that the police officers are recording on at the same time that some of them even walk into the house. It's because it's police officers. So I don't know if you guys knew that a lot of the ones that are Filipino that get into the heavy duty stuff, this is trash. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Yeah, you're not going to get that. Yeah, I'm just showing it because I didn't save any footage. Yeah, sorry guys. Probably better to show on the tablet. But it's showing how bad the bricks, like how bad the streets are, or how the trash is in the water. Maybe this is a better. No, I don't think that helps. That's all trash in the water. But this is some daily life here in the Philippines. But it's cops that are recording this stuff. But Do not recommend it, but they're trying to get their buck, and a lot of people are like, well, these expats are exposing the country, and these vloggers are doing it and doing whatever to get their numbers and to get paid. And it also is Filipinos too that's actually doing it. Yes, can we get a like this morning? Everybody got their coffee? Some people are not struggling to enter illegally. They are being picked up and dropped off in the Midwest to become into wage slaves. Mm. And there's so much on the internet right now, and you don't know what to believe. A lot of shit is AI'd. And I just seen on TikTok yesterday, somebody claimed they had scripts from the US, from the Senate that were whatever, and it was going back and forth. They were trying to say in 2022, they discussed all this about everything that's going on right now. And I just couldn't believe some of the stuff I heard, and I'm like, and so I just don't believe it. That's how bad things have gotten. Basically, they want to go back to 1930 and stuff. They want to revert everything back to where kids can work and wages are dropped, and they start going through all this stuff that everything. I just couldn't believe. I'm like, could it even be so? And all the plans, and it's like you just can't believe anything anymore. Hey, DeFons, have not seen you in a while. Did George renounce his U.S. citizenship when he went back to the Philippines? For those that have watched, renounced. He wasn't a dual citizen, so or he's not a U.S. citizen. His some of his family members in the U.S. He's got some in California and some in other parts. He never took citizenship, and as he has said before, just because somebody comes to America doesn't mean they become a citizen. He was there for 26 years, give or take, 27, 28. I'm probably off on numbers. Don't count. Just like people are always trying to calculate shit like, oh, well, he left at 18. You said he left at 17. You said this. How could he have done college? How could he have had kids? And it's like, just sit your asses down. But no, he never took citizenship. We never once said he was a citizen. He held the green card the whole time. And that was based on his family being there. So he was there, business owner, everything. So no, he is a full Filipino, because in the beginning, people tried to call us out. They're like, well, he isn't a Filipino. You've got an American sitting there with you. And it's like, he's not an American. He's born and raised here, went to college, had a kid before he left. His family is here, family homes, lived in the Angel City here during Pinatubo, went through all that. He knows old school. He knows the things going on now. He's full Filipino. So, and that is how I got my green card here. So I call it a green card. I'm not on probationary. I have a permanent residency here legally, and a passport legally. The whole world has lost their moral compass. I would agree, DeFons, but it's good to see you. My wife is a U.S. citizen, and not many Filipinos can pass the requirements. There is, and he could. He just, one, he was always working. Like when I met him, he was working 6.5 days a week. He only took part of Sunday off. And the other is he only went and seen his family every now and then because he worked all the time, years since a vacation, years since he took any time off. So he definitely can read the language, speak the language. He had no accent before he even left. His daughter has no accent. Several of his friends have no accents. Little to none, kind of like the Filipina P. The P before she went to America had little to no accent. So he definitely could. I wouldn't say they couldn't. There's a lot of smart Filipinos. I cannot get Filipino citizenship because one, I'll never fully learn the language to pass the test. And I'm not exactly an idiot. I'm an idiot, but not an idiot. So, but it's just a tough language. So is English. So plus there's a lot of requirements. So There's a lot of other requirements. So I think is there only 18 people that are citizens here? So the world needs God in their lives. Amen to that, brother. That's for sure. God and Jesus. It's could be just around the corner, guys. The political situation in America feels like a silent fart that won't go away. Yeah, like gas slowly leaking. It's nauseating and sickening. Stepping in for Heidi, George was only a resident. Yeah. Thank you so much, Be Free. Yeah, for 27 years, give or take. So you remind me of my auntie. Thank you. I've had a lot of people that said that. Yeah, like my famous saying, you can't stop this train. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go on the moody side. I've got medical issues. I'm in pain and a 9 out of 10 pain level on some days. I'm going to attack George. I'm just going to, and I ain't even going to be like people trying to correct my English and how I say things. If I want to say ideals, I'm going to say goddamn ideals. And it doesn't mean I'm uneducated or what is it somebody tried to correct a few times in the last couple months? Because I keep saying George and me instead of George and I. So it's not incorrect. Doesn't mean that I'm not this, and that. And who said I was educated? It's like the hard knocks life education is what I've got. And what are $32 burgers, right? Buying the meat from the store and making burgers for your family. The costs are out of. How's the prices running in the US? People live in sewers? Yes. Right? True story. Open up a sorry, sorry store and you will be sorry, sorry. Yeah, you know, I think a lot of times the expats are opening these up because out of boredom. And we've already covered boredom in retirement. It might be time to cover it again. I told George there are days that I'm bored but tired at the same time. And yesterday he was like, that's a bad combination. These men are, and people, or even me, I'm, like, okay, well, legally we can open a business now and this, and that. I'm like, but it's like, well, George could have done it on his own. There's just no profit. So the guys aren't doing it for profits. Like, let's go into that guy, Jim's Asian Adventure that everybody loves so much. He tried all kinds of businesses. He called his place a 7-Eleven. Far from it. Maybe his wife looked like a 7-Eleven employee, but typical. But it didn't mean he was running 7-Eleven. So he tried to do laundry and food and deep freezer. And the one thing that blew my mind about him is he got snagoled from a meat company. They promised him a deep freezer, but they sold him a ton of meat. He put it in his own deep freezer. They never brought the deep freezer back and they sold it to him at a different price. Turns out it wasn't even a legal meat company. So you bought meat from a Filipino that drove by? What an idiot. And he got snagoled from them. They never brought back the deep freezer. I guess his ice cream deep freezer was full of meat, probably expired meat on top of that. I think he even said it wasn't that good. And he stuck with a ton of meat, but his whole business went down. He had a piggery, he had that store, a laundry, and he did all this stuff. I think it's out of boredom. Like he said, he was bored. And I think a lot of the expats that do this, it's never about the profits. There's just not too many businesses that can make a ton of money here unless you invest in a shitload of realty and rent out to people. And I don't know. I don't know how these clubs here on Red Street or in different parts of Angel City make any money, or these restaurants. I just don't get it because the cost of food and everything's going up. But it's a boredom thing. So we covered like 7 stages of retirement or whatever, and there are different levels where you come in and you have this and the regret, and in the end, it's like you try to recalibrate things. And I've been here almost 5 years now, and now I'm officially going through where, okay, I'm used to this, I'm used to that, the weather, and like I said, now I'm down to being happy, like I said, with donuts and AC and taking a nap and being with the cats and seeing friends every now and then, like I would in the US. Same damn life, but cheaper rent. But you get bored. And part of, for me, like I said, socializing with you guys and sitting here and talking about different subjects or venting about this or speaking my mind is the reason you keep seeing me, because there are days that George just doesn't want to do live stream or he's busy, or I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing it. But opening a sorry story, you probably will be sorry. And then somebody else is going to open up. Like I talked about getting vending machines and putting them out there. George says someone will steal the vending machines, do the bacon and candle shop. And then we started thinking about it online. He's like, yeah, but do you want to be packing packages all day if somebody places an order and you only make 20 pesos profit on it? It's like, yeah, no, sell chocolate bacon, do something and because I'm bored. But the next thing you know, I'm full time into a job with a quarter of the pay. It's like, no, no, thank you. Not that bored. I'll just take my nap and eat my donuts. Thank you. No, thank you. Who wants to see the slums? I wouldn't want to see that stuff. Or aren't they burned out on it? Like there's several of them that come out a day and there are channels based on that. They're cops that are walking around or just Filipinos. And it's the same walking videos in the same area, but somehow they keep the numbers up. And George calls it out. He goes, they're paying for their numbers. They're farming their numbers. That's how they're basically they're getting paid, but they're farming a lot of their views. Because like, there's no way 300,000 people watch that video in a 24-hour period. Like you can see it's only been up for one day. I'm like, who? What Filipino or people around the world is watching a slum walk around? I don't know. I could be wrong. So, but that's all some of the channels do, but it's crazier when the expats do it and they go in as a white boy. It's kind of like I probably wouldn't even make it in the first section, quarter, half of that place without being attacked every 5 minutes for candy or to be buying something or pick up a prostitute or buy some shabu or I just I don't know. Yeah. So who let that white girl in? No way. I don't want to be bothered. Nobody would renounce a U.S. citizenship. It's pretty much like that, too. What about Tina Turner when she went to the Netherlands or Switzerland? Don't you have to do it there? I mean, I could kind of maybe see that. Go to the white girl land and say, hey, I don't want to be American anymore. I want to be whiter. People live in the condition they can afford, pretty much. Or they're hiding. I have a theory a few channels have left certain areas to go live somewhere else because they're hiding from exes. That does happen. Now that I can get. But when you go in there and live like that guy, where that guy traveler just showed, you can kind of tell that's all he can afford. And here's the thing, it's kind of like that with us. People are like, oh, you live in a crap area. And it's like, we live in a so-so area. This still has some people owning 3 and 4 cars at a house, and there's not a ton of people in the house. So we have 2 engineers next to us, and the people who just moved out finally after a couple years next door, they have a second house. So this is their second place. They own a house that's having some construction on it, and they both have management jobs. Their kids are in really nice private schools. So it's like we live in a so-so neighborhood. We live here because it's so close to the hospitals. It's so close to the stores. Everything is central why George picked this place. So there are reasons, but can we live in something twice as much? Yes. No reason to. I'm going to save that shit for donuts. I told George. And initially we thought about living in a place where, like I said, it was all furnished. But instead we spent a lot of our savings buying things over time and, the beds, the stuff. So instead of buying something that had a lot of furnishings in it and you pay another $100 a month, I'm like, 1,200. If you think about it, we've been in this place almost 4 years. That would add up really quick at $1,200. So was that 6,000, 7,000? I'm just right off the top of my head. So we just spent 7,000, 8,000 more US dollars over the last couple years being here. I couldn't see that. So, but I would probably say a lot of them are just being scummy. Yes. So, oh, sorry. I guess I had the wrong thing up. My coffee's starting to kick in. Yeah. So I was talking about that, but didn't put you up there, Black Grandpa. I was kind of using a figure of speech. By the time you buy the meat, the buns, the cheese, the lettuce, you probably could be paying $32. So $32 hamburgers could be for the family. I wasn't specific, but tell me right now, if you're in America, go ahead for a family of 4 and buy the hamburger, the buns, the cheese, and all of that stuff that goes on the tomatoes, and tell me what that would cost. And don't come back and say $6 or $7 for a family of 4 with all that stuff. I know that ain't true. It probably damn near wouldn't be true here. Because tomatoes are going up, lettuce, and the hamburger too. It's not $32 though, but it's costly for a Filipino. What we truly need is constructive words. Yes, words of encouragement, hope, empowerment, and love. Not on this channel, sir. Not today, sir. Not today. It depends. If you catch me on Sunday. Is it Sunday? Do I have to be nice? Yeah, I was gonna do the live tomorrow. That's what I told George I start doing on Sunday, so it's our Saturday Night Lives. We used to do Saturday Night Live, used to do SNL, and used to do all that, but we switched Saturday, which is Friday for the United States. I agree, but you can't be positive all the time. That's not yours. Sorry, it's not here, sir. I save that for George and my kids, and I save it for the pets. Okay, or when I'm trying to convince myself that I need to get myself donuts when I shouldn't. I use it on myself. You did real nice. What is that guy on SNL that used to, his name's Smiley, when something Smiley, he would go in the mirror and he'd say, I love myself and you deserve better, and you're all the words of encouragement, but I forgot what Mr. Smalley something, I can't remember. All these vloggers start off running on good old time Fields Avenue. A lot of them do. Or at least they come through and come swinging anyways. I don't see how they watch that either. Like, there's that other German, Russian guy that puts cameras in the face down here. He's even had his camera knocked away. He's still doing that, but he goes through other parts. Like, he'll come down here to our area in Mabalacat. He goes to different areas of Clark, and he does a lot of other things. But he goes right back to Walking Street, and I'm like, there's only so much you can actually watch. And then there's a ton of other ones now. There's been like hundreds ever since, the original vloggers have been down. But that's just me being negative. I was like, who the hell would keep on watching? Who the hell keeps watching us? I don't know. You never know what you're going to get here. It's a mixed bag of nuts, literally. It's nighttime. Yeah. Stefan's ice in the Midwest now, in the Chicago area. Trump's got National Guard posted at the Great Lakes base and assist ICE in raids in Chicago. It's civil war, guys. Doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or human just trying to pay your bills. It could be what's coming. So pray for you all tomorrow. I don't know. They want 8-year-old Victorian era. Oh my God. Yeah. I like Pete Hegsworth. He's true American, badges, and can back it up with kindness. The Koreans that were working in the U.S. building the Hyundai battery factory are back in Korea as canceling. Now, that was insane. Doesn't matter, again, what political side you're on. Why would you announce in front of the world a while back that you're bringing all these companies, including Hyundai, and they're building the factory? They're not working in it yet. And they have their visas. They claim some of them didn't, and you raid the entire factory. Korea had to make a full statement about they're done. And to me, that was insane. I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. I'm just a Karen. I'm just a, speak too much white girl. What's up with that? But if you say the wrong thing, you do this, you do that, then you're one party, then you're the other party. But it doesn't take a blind person to know. You asked them to come, they're here. You told the world you were bringing jobs, and then you had a bunch of them taken away. Eh, bad business, man. No, it doesn't take. It takes a. I'm with you, Black Grandpa. Does George have to pay American taxes? Currently, he is not old enough to get his Social Security. He does qualify for Social Security, but he in the Philippines, and when you're a YouTuber, based on where you're working and YouTubing, you're supposed to pay to that country. Some are still filing taxes in the US and choose to pay their taxes back in the US. They need to check with the Philippine government and the tax people here. When they're living here as permanent residents, they're supposed to pay their taxes here because YouTube and Google changed all that in the last few years, and a lot of people just do whatever. Nobody's gone down for it, as other channels have said, and understandable. But George is a Filipino. All the channels that we have, which is multi and his other social media stuff, is all based on him in the Philippines. There is one channel holder, one tax owner. He files taxes in the Philippines. He has a tax accountant that he has to pay a couple times a year. So there is no American taxes. It doesn't get paid. Google takes something out every month. There's some sort of replay, something it shows like on his, there's like an independent contractor amount they take out every month, and then it doesn't come back. It's based on residuals and the way that he pays them, and that's about it. So, and that's it. Did George support the baby that he left in the Philippines when he came to America? The answer is yes, and she wasn't a baby enough, so not in school yet. So he had a family before he left, and yes, of course, that's the one he goes and sees. So that is, he has several children in the US that he fully supported that are adults, and the one here was supported. So the answer is yes. Child has his name, everything's on the legit. So that's not an abandoned baby, as multi channels have said, which is weird because the girl is 33 now or something, give or take 30 something. I don't get an exact number. So we have children. Most of our children are over 30. So, hey, what's going on, Ruby? What is going on? Until you go back to the US to live, don't believe most of the bull. I usually live in the US 6 to 8 months a year. Still the best thing going, even with its flaws. But we do have family there, and we get to see videos. We get to talk to people. I wouldn't believe everything, but I'm not going to believe. I'm sorry. I talk to people that are in California. We have expats that and people from our channel that go back that give us information. So it can't be too much misinformation. What I do, not from you, but multi people, is they keep saying, well, you haven't been back in 5 years. There's no way you can know shit and everything's alive. Well, I'm not believing that. We have on a daily basis, we see these things. So, and then you add in the local news and all the other stuff. And then you can go to the websites and see prices or what's going on. I don't believe probably about 70% of it. And because I haven't been back to the US doesn't discount that I don't know what's going on. You can't, the world can't just close their eyes either. So I would still agree there's probably a lot better circumstances going on there than the Philippines, but it's all the other stuff that scares the shit out of me that would have me actually go back there. So I'm not taking that risk, not going to go through it, and not going to pay those prices, not even close. So I just cannot see. Talk about the balance of the bang for the buck here. I definitely wouldn't find the bang for the buck back in the US, not with the way things are going down. It is in my heart equally the bullshit. Here, it's not really worth it either because there's a balance of where they're starting to overcharge here and the costs are going up and the infrastructure and all that. But I still will take that over going over there and paying $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom where we were living in Florida. and the cost of the groceries and the gas, and you can't tell me that the costs haven't gone up. So I'm not going to pay for that with all that political stuff and all the immigration shit and have to worry about when we show up in church or go to a store and there are issues. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. So there is a very fine balance, a very fine balance. Everybody will always have their feelings on whether they would do it or not, or whether it's safe. Because some people say it's shit that I'm living here like this, and why would I? And that it's all crap. So just as equally as I feel about that, people, in America would say, "Oh, well, she's over there doing that," but I understand. Never a need to become a Philippine citizen. Keep your U.S. status. Yes, the U.S. is a mess right now. No, they wouldn't give it to me anyways. There's several things that would cancel me on that. So, and they don't give it away. Only less than 20 people. I want to say it's 18 or 19. Kulos was the last one. I'll never fully learn the language. I probably know about 5% of it. And even then, I understand more than I can speak. I just know that would stop me alone. They would not do it. And especially if they find the channel and hear me talking, they'd be like, "Yeah, she's not promoting the Philippines." So it's I'm sorry, I'm just living here. I bought 8 Polish sausages for a stew. It cost me $32. Wow. I'm talking U.S. citizenship and talking Visayan that know very little to no Tagalog citizenship. You need to know details. Yeah, and even I don't know enough American history. George knows more than me. Sounds like a learning experience. My base salary went up to 85,000. I make more overtime. What do you work again, Mark? 85,000 a year. What do you work? That's not average though. So you have a good job. Good for you. That is actually good money. What are you doing for a living for 85,000 a year? I want to go to a foreign country to open a business so I can have a form of income. Yeah, it's hard here. There's just, unless you're, really, really good at business and have money to lose. So if you're going to invest 50,000 US, you can expect to lose it. You open a restaurant, you always have to be prepared to lose that money like you would in the US. It's just really rough here. Giggling, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so true. Yeah. Yes, Stefans. For me, other guys find happiness. They think it's even a joke. It just means that it doesn't take a whole lot. I don't need a big house. I don't need a bunch of cars. I don't need to keep up with the Joneses like we did in America when we left. Everybody showing off their fancy cars and all their nastiness and being rude at the stores and all the shit we dealt with when we actually left. Yeah, it is down to that easy. I'm happy. It actually does not take a whole lot. So, and that's been a joke with me and George for a while. I mean, it's if we just go to the mall and see a movie, or we go to the noodle shops that they have, and it doesn't take a whole lot. Yeah, air conditioning, because a lot of people don't. And if you sit outside and it's sticky hot and you're itching, and yeah, it's kind of nice to have the AC. More appreciative of it, I guess. The simple things, for sure. There's currently no reason for him to go work in a call center, and it's not as easy as, just showing up and getting it. And like George said, why would he work for $20 for 8 to 10 hours a day? Why? We're not that broke. If all of a sudden Social Security dropped out, our savings went away, and his YouTube and the other things he does on social media goes away, then maybe why not? So, but I can't, and he couldn't see in a million years working for $20. So why be gone 10, 12 hours a day when we came here to retire? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, his English, everything. He's really, really intelligent. And he could get something else, but I can't see. My wife's factory is hiring 55 new employees and building a special building, exclusive product, international employee base. Wow, that is awesome. Renounce U.S. citizenship for tax reasons. Yeah. The answer is no. I don't pay a bunch of taxes. I have the base Social Security. As a matter of fact, I have to file, but I don't owe anything. So I'm not, I already told you guys on that matter, talked about it for years. So for me, it's just about, so George does his own for his money here, and then I do, but I don't, little to nothing is paid. So no reason to. But I see what you're saying is if people did that, but it wouldn't, people here in the Philippines, they won't get Filipino citizenship. Salmon, $8 a pound. Ground beef, $4.49 a pound. Pork, $1.69. Porterhouse steak. And where is that at? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and look that up on air. So I promise you strawberries are 3-4 times that amount. Salmon is only $8 a pound. Anybody else concur with the prices? Not that I don't believe them, but and strawberries have to be in season. All right, so it is $6 per 250. So it is $12 for a pound because 1 kg. So if it is 332, that's almost $6. It is $12 for a half a kg, which is 1 pound. It's $12 a pound from SM for salmon. And it kind of varies. Like they've got belly strips for $4 and then it would be $8. So you can get the strips of their belly for $8 that you're talking about for salmon here. So, and that's in the Philippines. Nobody makes that money here. Nobody makes that money. That is direct from them. $189 pesos for a pound. So, okay, so it's about $4 a pound for beef at SM. So you're paying $4.49. So you're paying 50 cents more. But that's, I mean, how much is your rent? But some areas must be paying lower prices. Is that out of Florida or California? That's where our family is. So, but I'll tell you right now, we keep going down the line. The prices are close to the same. I guarantee the steak here is more. So the prices are higher here. So I know it's not a comparison of who's paying less. And Mark, I'm assuming that you own your house on top of everything else, that you're not paying the high rent and stuff to balance out the groceries. My wife got 10 pineapples at the market for $10. That is really good. Yeah, it depends on the market prices. Will definitely depend if you're going to fresh markets versus like here, some of the fresh markets can be more expensive. Oh, and the gas, yeah, 275. Yeah. Yeah, gas is more than that here. That's really a good price. Right. Ruby, I recommend that for any medical treatment, yeah, to go to Clark Medical. That's where I do a lot of mine. I have some of the blood work done here, and I have where there's online consultations I'll do. But yeah, Clark is really a great place. Not only do they have modern facilities, but services is pretty good. Yeah, the cost is quite reasonable. Yeah. Here in New Jersey, 285. I think they are touting communist California prices. Who's touting communist prices, and why are you adding communist to it? That's what I'm talking about. People listing states as certain things, and not everybody living in that state is communist, and it's prices. Yeah, especially in certain areas. Yeah, I was just throwing a number out there. Hey, Bill, I'm good enough, smart enough, and gosh damn it, yeah, people like me. Yeah, Stuart Smalley, was that his name, Stuart Smalley? Now I think it just came when you said that. It just clicked. I think his name is Stuart Smiley or Smalley. I don't remember. I'm good enough, smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Well, it depends. They can get pretty bougie here. We've discussed several of these restaurants, but um, it can add up really quick. I mean, me and George have been, and it's just simply Candy Palace that I can list right off the top of my head. There are places on Clark itself that get really expensive. But when we had MYK here, and that was a few years back, we were up to almost 5,000 pesos, which was $100 for three people. And there wasn't like I took home a bunch of shit or had four different things on the table. Me and George have been known to go to these places to show food, and we'll put a bunch of things out there. But we were close to 5,000 pesos with the tip. $100 to me, that's a lot in the Philippines. But just, I don't know about a burger. I don't know. I believe Kenny Rogers, it turned out to be a $7, $8 burger. I'll have to look that up to see what it was, but it's US prices. You will pay US prices for items here. Not quite all US prices, but US price enough. I know that there's been inflation on groceries. Deep Thoughts with, yes, yeah. I thought Deep Thoughts was with Jack Handy. Was that Jack Handy that was Deep Thoughts? It was Stuart Smalley. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sarah, $17 with fries and sit down. Yeah, family cooking. And as much as I like Dunkin' Donuts, Choco Butternut, I try not because the high sugar content. Yeah, self control. Yeah, self control is not eating them every day and having fast food every day and keeping all the most packaged foods out. We just order them in. So, and I don't smoke and I don't drink alcohol and I don't go to Walking Street and have sex with people. And believe me, it's a lot of control. So donuts and AC is my sin and good for me on the occasion. That's for sure. But I hear what you're saying. Oh, you're talking about Choco Nut, the little candies. Yeah, I mean, on the occasion, yeah. And believe me, I've had to actually cut back. I know I keep talking about it, but I don't have donuts every day. It'd be nice, but I know the sugar and everything is really bad in those. Daily affirmations, yeah. Sarah, hey, what's going on? I need to hurry and get out of the US. There's a lot of people. A lot of people are making decisions to live in inexpensive areas and go somewhere where they feel they're getting away from all the political tension in other countries, especially US and all these other things. But people also have to remember when you leave the US, you are leaving comforts behind. Never denied that. I'm not totally against, not being in the US, but a lot of people don't think about that stuff. I didn't think about a lot of things when I came here 5 years ago, but either some can handle it or they actually can't. That's another, thing that's going on. The first American Civil War had Congress critters beating each other with oak canes. Right? Long ago, volunteering a short time was always a honeymoon stage here, yet until I lived here and long time. Yeah, then reality sets in. Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah, I mean, I thought about all kinds of stuff like that, volunteering and doing this, and that. And then it's like it's not as easy as you actually think. And then like for me, the more medical problems that come, it's like I can't be tied up several hours somewhere and then have something medically go wrong, or I don't know day to day when something's going to happen for me with my lupus. I could wake up tomorrow, my legs totally be messed up, or I can barely move, or I go through a stage where my skin's on fire, pins and needles. I could be totally cold no matter what I do, could be hot no matter what I do, sweating. There's a lot of different things that goes on with my lupus and medical issues. So it's kind of hard on the volunteering that I used to think that we'd be able to do. Me and George talked about it all the time. So it is really hard. Yeah, there was mention that he has been sick. He's up there in age. Unfortunately, they showed that. There were a lot of people that even said that his most recent video, which is posted on the White House website, was AI. You could clearly see it was AI. The way his mouth was moving, the way there were glitches, the way that his hand folded underneath, it looked like there was odd movements. And a lot of people did a big debate on that. They're like, oh no, that's a bunch of crap. That wasn't AI. And I'm like, it appeared to be AI. But it could be because he's so busy and because he's getting treatments or there's something else going on. But it was, it's a different time. It's a different time in life where AI video is being used a lot for good and for bad. So, but it seemed to be that I think he's having some issues. So he had a statement made with his voice and they put it into an AI video, but it was glitchy. It was posted at the White House website. That's not somebody else. That was at the White House, whitehouse.gov. That was his video and it's AI. You can actually see where he's jerking and the video glitched. And it was, I don't know why they would, except for maybe he's at a doctor's office or so. I was, I'm only mentioning because, but he could have just been tired. Videos, when they get paused or moved a certain way, you know, could look like he's having a stroke, but a lot of people are starting to talk about it. My grandfather, my second great grandfather served in the Civil War, sore subject taken too lightly. Yeah. Hyundai is not canceling the battery factory. It's a rumor only, huh? Work in Korea without visa, see what happens. Okay. But they're saying a bunch of people did, and Korea made an announcement in Korea that they were. So I don't know. My mom and I bought steaks for my dad grilled outside in the U.S. grocery store for $10 and great every Tuesday. Steaks. That's a good price. He's not old enough. George doesn't want to collect Social Security yet, or not old. No, he's not old enough. He's 51 this year. So not old enough. I picked a choice grade ribeye, New York. You just need to look for the marbling. Mark, all right, so that's why you broke that all down. I don't know what state that them weren't the prices when I left. I was there and prices weren't that back then. So I'm okay. Well, I'm happy that that's coming together for you and it wins your argument on that. You're stuck on the $32 thing. Good for you. That's all I can say is $32 from what? So it would not have cost me $10 when I left. I'm positive of that. I'm not believing in my state that it would still cost that. Anybody concur that it would cost you $10 to buy buns and tomatoes and lettuce. $1.99. That was barely from those cheap stores like Aldi's and stuff back then. I'm not believing that's where the price is. So I guess I would have to look up prices in Aldi's in Florida to see if that still exists. But it sounds like you're living in a great state. The amount of money you're making and cheap groceries, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. For sure. And then, of course, we just put that up. You just need to look for the marbling. Yeah, marbling would actually be key. Sarah, that's 80% lean. He's going with the flyer that he has. That's cool. Prices go up, but wages do not. Yeah, the balance, but you can't complain. You have to get your hustle on. That is true. The American situation is seen in the eyes of the people in different socioeconomic levels. Yeah, different areas. The ones having a hard time will see it badly. The ones doing well will see it as being good. Oh, so you're just saying that if somebody's up there making 80, 100,000, 300,000, and in a certain middle to upper class situation, and then those that are poor, me and George talked about that. There are people with money complaining about the prices. They're just, some of them are really cheap and they don't want to spend the money. They own businesses and everything else and money in the bank and multiple houses. They're still going to complain about it. If they're people with crypto and they can lose 100,000, they're not complaining right now. But I get where you're coming from on that, Defons. That's for sure. Or the programs are being pulled from certain people, or yeah, they're really feeling it. Yes, the working class, which other people are working too, so I don't discount that. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Victoria. What is going on? Oh, I see Shekel further up was talking about on a live stream somebody was eating MREs for lunch daily. I know they go through and they try them and eat them and taste, but to eat them every day, aren't they expensive though to get MREs? The secret to becoming a millionaire in the Philippines as a foreigner wanting to enter into businesses start off being a multimillionaire. Yeah, you will lose your pants and become a millionaire. Yeah, you still could be the millionaire. Yeah. Exactly. And $20 used to be a lot of money and now it's nothing. Yeah, I used to be able to do a lot with 20. That is for sure. Yeah. I definitely know I'll be happy with 1,000 a month in the Philippines. To me, that's a lot. And I'll have room with air conditioner, yeah, and generator and plant some trees and grow while I'm here, yeah. Yes, online. Yes. Online software with a VPN. Thomas, like, time for some ice cream. Okay, that's cool. Mark says he's a post person. So, but I thought you said it was and 50,000 in benefits. So you're making 80,000 a year. Didn't you say 80,000? But I see you're saying and 50,000 in benefits. But postal is paying 80,000 a year? In Baguio City, really that expensive like Dumaguete? It is on the way up, yes. Even 5 years ago being there. When the country reopened, there's a tons of people. The rents are really going up. And yeah, I mean, some of the market, because they're so close to a lot of the farms, you can go to the marketplace and get the groceries. Some of them seem to be cheap out in the market, but the rentals and all that are starting to go up. Cindy said their friend found amazing salmon. I like salmon. Yeah, like that salmon. If it was $7.99, yeah, I'd buy it up. Yeah, because even salmon, I've seen it go higher here than what I even listed it, so it is way more expensive here. Strawberries in Ilo SM are lousy and they're expensive. Yeah, you just get a little crate of them for I think $5 to $13. It's hard to. Yeah, 1 kg is about 2.2 pounds. Yeah, yeah, I round it. Yeah, at about yeah, because they usually sell it. It did say 400-500. So sorry, I should have said that it said 4-500, which is close to a pound. So I'm just yeah. So 1 kg, 2.2 pounds. All right, guys, skimming. Mark says he saves a lot of money by getting rid of the cable and going YouTube. Yeah, we do YouTube Premium. We do Netflix and HBO Max here. It's still way cheaper than us paying what we were paying for cable back in America. Cable and even cell phones really cheap here. Steaks have gone up 40%. Really surprising. I hear it's not good to eat meat anyways. In the US, what's the average electricity bill during summer and winter months? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I haven't been there in 5 years. That I could not actually tell you. I mean, I know the kids talk about different prices on their electricity bill. Yeah, Stuart Smalley, yeah, affirmation, yeah, daily. Yeah, and then the fawn said yes, daily thoughts, yeah, as Jack Handy, yeah. Deep thoughts with Jack Handy. All right, that is cool. That is sweet. He said yes, he bought his house many years ago, and it's up to yeah, that's really great. Yeah, I mean, a great investment for sure. I don't. So, why do you eat so much? I don't. I have severe medical problems. I'm not going to blame it all, but basically, I'm on steroids multiple times and multiple medical conditions, and I have been losing some weight on and off this past probably 6 months, but I don't. That's your assumption at that point. So I don't sit around and eat all day to keep the weight on. It's medical right now, most of it. So matter of fact, I eat less now than I actually did before. And I have the gastric bypass, so I've only got a quarter of my stomach. I can only put so much food in my stomach. So no. But they do not have Boston cream in Dunkin' Donuts in the Philippines, and at least I never could find it there. Yeah, it depends on the actual shop. They've got like 8 or 9 of those here in this small area. It's kind of crazy. I eat the wrong foods. That is my choice. You know, the same people criticizing why do you eat all the time? Why are you always on Walking Street? Why are you always smoking? Why are you always drinking? And then the moment I'll say all these things is like, well, I don't. I work out every day. I eat healthy, and I go, bullshit. There's the 1%ers, like people who had their life together for retirement. I call bullshit on you. All the ones that say they did the right thing, I call bullshit. Everybody's trying to be better than somebody in this day and age and pass all that criticism out on why you eat so much. Actually, I don't. I eat the wrong things. I eat a lot of sugary items that are high calorie. when I do, and it's not the fact. Why do you do what you do? So I'm going to eat basically what I want. I gave up smoking. You give up smoking. You give up drinking. You give up everything. And you live through my medical issues. And when you can read my chart and figure that out, then more power to you. I mean, it'd be like somebody being bold and saying, well, why'd you pull all your hair out? Why did why did you use the wrong brush? Why did you that? And the truth is, had probably nothing to do with it. Could have just been stress by itself. So you assume because I'm big that I sit around eating 20,000 calories a day or an entire pizza. No. When we get a large pizza, it lasts for days. I can only eat one slice at a time. Okay. And then we don't even eat it for a while. I do not sit around and eat all the time. So I'm big for multiple reasons, but eating all day is not one of them. And I'm proud of being big. You probably got some scrawny ass bitch anyways. So, and whatever you answer, I'm sure you're lying just based on your comment. Oh yeah, I did see that, Mark. Mark says US is going to charge 250 on the visa on the fees and another 146 on top of that for the countries. Yeah, that is for sure. Passport applications in the US are up, 400% the first 3 months of this year, and the second passport, the costs are going up for sure. Everything in the Philippines is AI. Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, I don't know when that actually was. I did see that. That incident happened and then he made an announcement about him passing. That was AI. Go directly to the site and watch it. He's glitching. He's glitching. His finger isn't right underneath there. His mouth, you can clearly see. Whoever says it's not does not even know what AI is then at that point. If you're fooled by that video, then I don't even know who you are. If you're offended, then go away. But that was AI. Though there's other people, it's not because you watch one station or one vlog or whatever. I watched it myself. George watched it. Other Filipinos watched it. It is glitchy, and he used AI about a passing away of somebody that was attacked in the U.S. And then he did appear on Fox. I seen that, but it was an AI video. But I did see him on Fox. He looked fine to me. Electricity is $200 a month. Yeah, I thought I heard the kids talk about 150, 170 on running AC that's set at a certain temperature. It never goes off central wise. For us, we pay about 200 here. We pay anywhere between up to about 10,000 pesos, depending for us here in the Philippines. I think the last bill was almost 8,000 pesos. That's not quite 200. Oh no, it's loud outside today. Everyone's coming home for Fiesta. Yeah, I'll do some fireworks tonight. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's to be expected. They like to have fun and party here, which is the one good thing is that, there's a lot of happy people and they like their fiestas and family together. That's a good thing. Now the US definitely lost that. When it comes down to family values and Filipinos hanging out and their hospitality and all that, the US lost that shit in the 80s, period. Hands down. Hospitality here and nice people are here. You can't convince me that exists a lot. I mean, on many different levels. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They showed him during the 9/11, and they did show that the one side of his face looked droopy. Yeah. He's up there in age, too. So, unfortunately, what's he, 78, 79? But, oh, that's interesting. That maybe Vance can be his vice president. Hey, that might be an ideal. I think they can do that. Yeah, Mark was talking about Trump and Vance running. I'll take a look. He says, Heidi, check again. The announcement did say possibly a 3-week delay on the opening due to the construction. Okay, yeah, maybe I just didn't follow up on it. So probably just seen an initial article and them talking about it. Yeah, we can't. It's hard in this day and age. In this day and age, keeping up on different things but yeah, definitely check that out. Thank you, Be Free. I've never heard of Wagyu. What state is that in? It's a type of beef. It's a Japanese beef that when real, it's actually from Japan and it's you can buy a Wagyu cow. They do breed them in other areas, but there's a whole thing about how they're fed a certain way and massaged and taken care of, and there's a lot of extra they do for it, and it's one of the more expensive beefs. Yeah, there it is. Wagyu is Japanese beef. Yeah. All this talk of food, right? I spend like the first half of my day where we just drink coffee, and I do use a sugar-free sugar, and I take all the precautions. For the last 6 months, we just don't buy chip bags and if we order the donuts, we order them out individually. And you've heard me probably for the last week or two where I said I've had this and that. But for the most part, try to make the better decisions. I said I make like 30 good decisions and one bad one every now and then. But I know, as we discussed with the doctors, it would take a substantial amount of calories, unless that's coming from oatmeal. Like I make vegan patties with beans and oatmeal. So unless I'm getting so much oatmeal, it's keeping the weight on. I do go through a lot of oat product when I bake the cakes. They're oat with the sugar-free stuff. Um, and I do go through a lot of meat. So I eat a lot of proteins, eggs, cheese, dairy. So this could be keeping the weight on. But um, yeah, it's kind of like donuts. Kulos citizenship is just a tourist trick. He does promote the Philippines. We didn't initially know that he has a thing with the industry and stuff. We use Surfshark. We pay for it by the year up front. We use it to get onto the Social Security site. And like I just went to go look at the flyer that Mark's talking about. It won't even let me into the website to even look at it. I have to turn the VPN on. So the best one and the only one, and we used to put a link up there because we would get one free month. Now we just pay by the year, is Surfshark. So some of our old content has a link to it. I can send you one if you go to the messenger. But no, Surfshark. We just pay by the year because it's got an antivirus and a VPN for the cost of just getting a VPN. And then they do scans all the time, and it just doesn't have to be one unit. We have it on all of our cell phones, and we've had it on our computers. And the good thing is there's been a ton of people trying to send us viruses and get into our computers, try to take over our YouTube channel, and it catches all this shit. We don't even click on half the links anymore unless we really believe it's what it is. And then it's caught one or two of them. So people have been trying forever to get to us. And they'll send the craziest stuff. But yeah, Surfshark. All right, guys. Hey, Sunset Travel. He's out with family. The weekend he usually does stuff with his granddaughter and daughter and his uncle. He still helps take care of his uncle. He's been visiting families' houses because of the death of his father this week. So, and Saturdays will probably be me. I told you he took his foot off the pedal. That's why you don't see the walkabouts or more appearances by him. Is so, but probably Saturday here in the Philippines or Friday for the US, Canada, and other places would probably be me. I've been doing that probably for 6 months. He'll be back. Yeah. No, Mark's got it together. Okay. Hey, Gringo. Another question. I don't know where What matters? Um, why did you tilt the camera up before you took your seat yesterday? Does it matter? Why are you so nosy, Mr. Vlogger? Mr. Newspaper? I need together a colonoscopy. I hope there's nothing there. My PCP told me to do it every 7 years. Yeah, at a certain age, or it's good to actually have it. Yeah. What kind of person asks somebody? Because it's a troll, another vlogger, another YouTuber, another person that thinks they're breaking me by asking me about my weight. So the insinuation of the camera tilted is me getting up. Because I have a hard time because I have bad legs and circulation where I got bit by a spider. So I'm not, that's for me. I'm getting up. I'm not going to leave a camera while I get up, and it's kind of awkward. So I've always tilted it up. So, and the part about me being big, I know I'm fat, I know I'm overweight. And again, what's going on in their lives? Just they're trying to show out. There's probably 2 dozen vloggers and odd people that have been pissed because we won't let them on. So they create other accounts. They do it all the time. They send emails and they think by talking about my career and past and everything else, they're going to break. So they think the weight bothers me. But the thing is my husband doesn't mind. My skin's broke out right now. Would you like to know about that? You think that bothers him or anybody else in my life? The answer is no. It's because of the lupus. And I've gained quite a bit of weight since I've left. I talk about it. And you think that breaks me? And you're perfect, I'm sure. So just sit your ass down and go sit somewhere. You're talking of shit because you're actually miserable. And I guarantee, like I have found others, they're overweight. Some are in wheelchairs. Some have bad marriages, bad problems, and all that. More than likely, the same person that's asking those questions is overweight, but they will always say they're in shape and doing well. They're lying. He's lying. It's just somebody trying to disturb the live. And George, like, oh, don't call them out. It's not really calling them an out. It's just saying what it is, what it is. So, no, Victoria's right there. And I'm overweight. So, did I hide that? Do I hide that like on the camera when I've been seen in plain view? Have I gained weight since some of those appearances? The answer is yes. It's not you on steroids 3 and 4 times a day because of lupus. You have no idea what lupus is. You don't know nothing about my cancer. You don't know anything about my life and how and why I'm gaining weight. Every single thing I eat is going to me. I went 6 months without eating any sugar, any extra food, weighing it out and everything else. And I lost like 3 pounds a month and was exercising. So I don't want to hear about it. Same people drinking and sucking down alcohol and sucking pussy and everything else, catching all kinds of diseases. The same one that's running their mouth like you, bitch. You have no idea the amount of pain and problems I'm going through. And I don't mind calling you out. Thank you for the content, ass. Oh, she's here. Where you at, Mary? They're saying hi. Mary's costume came in, guys. Check it out. See her little Chinese hat, and she's got her little. See her little. I told you she got like her little outfit. It's got little arms and like a little dress. So she's supposed to wear it for Halloween. And actually, I had it up here earlier. I said might actually work, but when George seen it, we were like, yeah, we had to get it and everything. So she's here. Can you say hi? Can you come here? Can you say hi? Look, I know. Or what are you, is the AC too cold? Hey, Mary, I got donuts. You want a donut? Look. Look, donut. You can have donuts? Uh-huh. Look, you say hi, Mary. She's due for a haircut. She's actually about a week overdue, but it was raining outside. And then George actually cleaned a bunch of mold. Hi, sweetie. Cleaned a bunch of the mold outside with the sprayer yesterday. We got some footage on that, but Got some of these guys playing around. Wait, say hi, Mary. See how she's past due because the hair's around her face. You can't see. You don't look like a puppy no more. You look like an old lady. You do, huh? Yeah. What is the truth to Russian cancer cure? Have no idea. Have no idea. Condolences, George, if you're listening. He usually rewatches this. So he always rewatches. Well, it's like, yeah, I gotta watch. And George loves you, so you're keeping posting videos. Yeah, and it's like to communicate, like to run my mouth, like to have fun, and we've both built this channel over the years, and so it's like we're just not like they said. You keep just talking, you keep doing it. You don't quit because other people call you fat, and you think you're gonna break me. It's like, oh god, I just can't do YouTube no more because I'm being trolled. But we keep doing it because that's what we do. So no, we like doing the channel. We like being here. 100%. People's power, not funny. Talking about the electric bill, people's power, like the electric, yeah, it really can be up there. We like dogs and we like cats. Me and George, we both are animal people. So George had George had more than I did. George had 4 dogs, a he had a duck, and he had a bunch of chickens. When I met him, and he was working 16-hour days. I don't even know how he kept up. He would go home and take care of them and then take care of them later in the evening. So he took time off work to go back. And I had 1 cat. So, and he had a turtle. So he also had a turtle he was taking care of. So George was really cute when I met him as far as how much he loved those animals. And then I just knew he was a nice person. Same here. But he knew I was business too. I mean, like I won't take no shit either. So Andy liked the cooking and cleaning and how I mother, and we complete each other. Some days you'll see where we want to strangle each other, but 80% of the time it's pretty good. The other parts is just us dealing with different things. There said, "What the heck did I just type?" It's what ain't what I typed. So yeah, I meant I need to lose 40 pounds. It's hard to squat down and work on my patient's feet. And on a smaller person, it does. Like George will even admit that he's put on 20 or something pounds. 20 pounds on a small frame is hard. Me putting on 100 pounds is probably like you putting on 20. I'm almost 6 foot tall. I've got like a really large frame. So when I gain 20 or 30 pounds, believe it or not, until I get on a scale, I don't even, you start to notice other things like short of breath or clothes getting tight or something. But I get it. Like 40 pounds was like, for me, is like going through the holidays or something, and then I'll lose it at the first of the year. But the steroids and my menopause and my age, now that I'm, getting up there. Some people say over 50 is not getting up there, but it's been almost impossible. It's a few pounds here and there, no matter what I do. So, but keep doing me, and that's how we're gonna wrap this up today. I gotta get going, and I got other things I'll be doing. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to all the trolls, lovers, haters. Couldn't do it without you. And to those that are going to come by and troll me, don't forget to bring donuts or pizza or say hi. So, um, you know, it is what it is, and everybody just keep doing you, keep on with you, keep your eyes open. And appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for our moderators, Ted and Sarah, and the regulars. Cindy is in here, Thera's in here, and our regulars that have come in here. Appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, we had Raymond vlogging live, all kinds. Mark's in here today. Defons, Victoria, Cindy. Thank you to our ladies in the house and the people rewatching this. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Consider membership. I think there's a membership. The lowest one is at, I think, like $2 a month. It just helps with everything with the channel as far as running and feeding kitties and all of that, and just all in all, guys. But appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, and we will see you on Tuesday. Should be Tuesday, Philippine